yeah, you can tell, and also language, you can tell who's more educated and who's more focused
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah.
cultural pride. So
Mm-hmm.
North is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also a mix of both. I'm actually half Kashmiri and half Tamil. So
Do you
it's
identify with one or the other?
neither, bro. Neither, because
Yeah.
when you belong to two kind of these fragmented communities, and those communities don't kind of overlap in any way, shape, or form, you kind of like end up not learning anything about those two cultures. So I basically identify as a city boy who grew up watching a lot of Western sitcoms, and I think like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm American stuck in India. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
he
Gotcha.
gets he gets my jokes here. It's like I question my comedic ability when I'm performing here, but then when I go abroad, suddenly I'm like the funniest guy in the room. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, I'm just stuck with a weak.
Yeah, I mean it's very interesting. I mean, how was it for you when you performed in Melbourne? Were you performing for brown crowds or was it like
Yeah, it was very mixed crowds. I would say predominantly white and predominantly
yeah,
strangely old, like over the age of 50.
really?
So yeah, I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that that would be my audience, but I'm learning that those
Here
guys
we
like
are.
most
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
so strange.
You
The
gotta
closer
find your
they come,
niche.
yeah, the closer they come to death, the more they appreciate dark humor, I feel. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
yeah.
Is your humor dark?
Yeah, I tend to like write very dark shock jock kind of jokes. Not that that's my intention, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think, now I'm back.
Hey, you're live. Rahul, you're live.
We are live actually.
Yes.
So yeah, I think there's some echo as well. So I'm trying to connect my earphones to them, so I couldn't hear any of the things you were talking about. Just heard that Kashyap was saying that he feels pretty good in performing stand up outside India, and in India it is not working. Wow, said like a true immigrant. You know, every immigrant says that, like, oh, that I had better opportunities in that country.
What
Bro,
is the streaming working?
yeah,
Yeah.
stream is working now. Just I'm not able to hear everything that you guys are saying because
Gotcha.
yeah, my laptop got like is hung right now. Okay, but we can talk. We can talk. So yes, so guys, how you were discussing our Indian comedy scene versus the scene in Australia or outside our country, or you were just discussing your career at that time?
We were talking about like what kind of audience like we've discovered works for us. But mostly just my perspective. Nothing from like I haven't asked Reza about his experience around this, but yeah, for me that's been the case. Australia is surprisingly very accepting of brown comedians and diverse
Mm.
performers. Yeah, I feel like it's just the art consumption culture that, and also of course a lot of free time and better income and disposable income that they have, that they can spend an evening taking a punt on an unknown face, unknown comedian. You don't see that
Mm-hmm.
in India for sure. We have huge celebrity worship culture.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
entertain, not artists. Um, so, and the grassroots infrastructure is really not great. Like anyone who's entering comedy is either, like as a producer, is either stupid or extremely greedy. So they either go
Extremely
broke,
what?
greedy, like
Yeah, yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
a non-comedian running a business and either like really scaling it while exploiting comedians, or
Yeah.
kind of going bust by the end of that thing by committing like financial fraud, etc. So um, yeah,
Yeah,
It's the Indian way.
yeah, it's a
it's the
brown on
only way we.
brown on brown crime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you also have experienced some shows in India, like you had performed in Bangalore, I feel, and recently one of my comics friend told me that you performed in Lightroom as well in Delhi, right? You did a spot in Delhi
Yeah.
in Hoskas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was that in Gurgaon?
No, no, that was in Delhi only, like South Delhi.
Okay,
Near
gotcha.
that lake, there's a garden outside Deer Park. lots of
see.
bars
Okay. Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
like in Delhi. And
Right.
I'm
Right.
very
Right.
sure the mic didn't work at that time, like in that room. I'm sure of that. Like their mic
Oh,
is not
yeah.
good. Yeah, so maybe if you remember that venue now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember the names of the venues because there were so many venues, and it all just slipped my mind. But I remember performing in Delhi. Delhi felt the most Hindi centric
Yeah.
out of the cities that I performed. I had a really fun time just like breaking down and analyzing the scene in India. One, it's like I performed in like maybe half a dozen countries now, and out of all the countries outside of America, the country that felt like it had the most kind of established scene that was felt truly for Indians was India. Like I performed in like Paris and Prague and Japan, and all of those cities felt like the audiences were international audiences. So you had people from America, UK, Europe, English-speaking Japanese people, or whatever city it is. But like in India, it was all Indians. It wasn't like an international zeitgeist or consciousness. So like when I was in Bangalore, I had to like kind of connect with Bangaloreans, and then that was different than connecting with Delhi people. So that was really interesting. I bombed a lot in the beginning because I really understood.
Did they call you a South Indian? Did they call you South Indian? Like, no.
No, I think immediately my accent puts me in a outsider's box that like gives them like a skeptical eye, and then I had to win them back in some way. But like it was very much like a lot of my jokes, you realize how much is like like the context of the joke is American specific, and it's not connecting with the audience. And so then I had to like take these bits that I had that are maybe, let's say, like 2 minutes long, and I had to like deconstruct them and figure out what parts of that joke still connect with an Indian audience, and then rebuild them, like kind of like when you take a plant and you take a cutting and then replant it in a different pot. There's a lot of that happening, which was interesting.
So did you talk about your
The other thing-
interracial relationship there as well in India?
Yeah, and it bombed. It bombed because I was like, is anyone dating interracially? It's just all fucking Indians.
Yeah.
So everyone's just like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah.
And then there's yeah, go ahead.
If you asked if anyone's dating intercaste, you'd get the same reaction, by the way. Sorry.
Right.
Go on.
And the other thing, like, so there's like a punchline in that joke that I think is like indicative of how hidden American context can be, or like your cultural context can be. Like I say, like, is anyone dating interracially? And then I say, you know what? Stick to your own kind, which is like, in America, that's funny because that's what like white hillbilly people say. Is like, you gotta stick to your own kind, right? So it's funny because I'm saying this as like a young millennial brown person copying something that like old racist would stereotypically say. So that's what the funny is. But then you come to India and I say, stick to your own kind, that contextual relationship is not there. So now it like completely, one, they're not dating interracially, right? For the most part.
Right.
Then me saying stick to your own kind doesn't work. So now the whole beginning of the joke is just bullshit. It's not working.
Did you try to
And
put
now I'm
this
like,
bit into another pot? Like, did you try to change it a bit for Indian audience?
that part, I mean, I dated a white girl, but then that kind of came off as hot, like kind of show-offy or something like that, in a way that I didn't want to intend to do. And so like it made it immediately unlikable. Saying like I was dating a white girl comes off like which is weird, but it comes off as like I'm better than you or something like that, right?
Yeah,
You're telling all these Indian people.
Yes, it's like going to a room full of poor people and saying you just won the lottery.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. That's what, dude. It's every brown man's dream in India. It's very sad.
Right. So then you're saying that, and then I now pair that with my fucking accent. My accent already comes off as like Lagan bullshit. I can't even say it. That's like, it came off. I immediately felt from the audience that who the fuck does this guy think he is? Energy. You know what I'm saying? like,
Yeah.
oh, he thinks he's rich, blah blah blah, or something like that. And so then I had to like rework everything and then talk about my parents are from India and like change the relationship with the audience so that it's more humble, for lack of a better word. So that was a big, and then another joke I have about going to Thai restaurants, and it's like that was another one that felt very like I couldn't get a read on how many people went to Thai restaurants, but then also
Hardly
there's
one
like a
or two.
specific.
Hardly one or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Thai massage we all have received,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Thai
I
restaurant.
should just do this. I should do all my fucking comedy at Kashyap's house, which I've been to. I stand by that. I've been in that room. I know where your bed is. The bed is to the right of you.
Yeah, now
Right
I
behind
remember.
your bed.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
You were here. You were
Uh-huh.
sitting with the painting. I
Yeah,
remember.
you were high on your mind.
I was high
Yeah.
as fuck. Sorry.
You told me about Australia. Everything he said today, I've already heard in his room.
We bitched for a long time. Yeah. So actually, this
Yeah.
podcast is redundant. I'll turn my camera off.
So
But-
you did meet, like, you both of you met.
we met.
Fuck,
But
Kashyap.
but so now it's established. Raza and I have nothing to talk about. I think
Yeah.
Nalin most likely has the most interesting things to say today. And for me, honestly, the moment Rahul put up the poster for this podcast, I was like, I have to be on it because I want to listen to what Nalin has to say. Because honestly, dude, this is like a Cain and Abel story, right?
Yeah,
Like,
even that's why I even called Raza as well, because I could have brought any comic, but I think Raza has many interesting stories and he would like to listen his story as well. So
yeah, 100%. And you guys have freedom of speech and expression, so
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's about Israel.
but right now, Raza, I am feeling just like a black person, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा दोस्त. मैं बस कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि किधर सही जगह पे हंसना है. You get my point? so it's like, I don't know. So you have been to Bangalore, right? How was it?
Yeah. Bangalore अच्छा था. मुझे सबसे अच्छा
No,
गोवा
you
लगा.
don't have to speak in Hindi. Like, you can speak in English. I understand it. It's like I am passing the lower class category of Indian people. I am coming into the middle class, hopefully, well soon. So yeah, you can
Mashallah.
speak in English. I understand it. But I will,
अच्छा.
whenever I will not understand, like whenever I don't have the words to speak in English, then I will try my Hindi. So
Okay, perfect.
So you got the cheat code, right?
Yeah. I like Bangalore. Out of the cities I went to, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai, I like Bangalore the most.
of course.
Okay.
I
Yeah, that's
just
so,
like-
that's so Muslim, so Muslim type of.
You think so? Is Bangalore known as a Muslim hub?
No, just because they hate Hindi speaking people, that's why I think they support Muslims more, because they speak Arabic and whatever like they want to speak. Like. So
Oh, gotcha. I mean, that wasn't the reason. I just think like it's the pollution primarily,
Bangalore?
which I don't know if that's a Hindu thing, but like it felt like very the pollution levels were it was hard to think, it was hard to breathe. Yeah, so that was my only problem with Mumbai and Delhi is the pollution. I think it's like I think when you know how like in America everyone's fat and so like you don't think about it and everyone's just eating horrific McDonald's and bad food and so it just gets normalized. I think when you go over there, the air quality is the same thing where like it's normalized and I'm in Mumbai and there's like hot people and like cool like just like gorgeous girls but they're like all breathing in just horrific and I'm like it's crazy that's happening.
But what I think, when you are poor, so nothing matters. Like wherever you are, like so you want to shift to Delhi or Bombay, you don't care for pollution or anything because we don't know what the pollution is. Like we are working in factories, so of course, like I live in an industrial area of India. It's the Asia's biggest industrial area, and it's fucking polluted, but nobody knows about here. So it's just about like a so-called privilege. But like what I say, like if Delhi is coming into headlines, just because of pollution. So I want pollution too. So I hope you are getting my English, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we are
No,
getting.
I get it.
yeah, so exactly. So it's just about like everywhere in India. It's not about just Bombay or Delhi. But yeah, like
Yeah.
people are living in the same conditions, so they don't care for that. But when you go for the living situations, so in Bombay and Delhi, living situations are better than rural area of India and like rest part of the India.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the opportunities and everything, so like what I think right now, like if a guy is performing in Bangalore, he also has to come to Bombay or Delhi at some day to work in stand-up comedy or like anything if he wants to
Yeah.
work in this culture. So Bombay and Delhi is like the prime part of this scene, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
No, I
right
agree.
now, like
I definitely felt it was more like comedy was taken more, was at a different level in Bombay and Delhi compared
yeah,
to Bangalore.
yeah,
Now,
like
when you do comedy, Nalin, do you do it all in Hindi or is it English or what is
yeah,
it?
it's all it in Hindi. Like because I come
Okay.
from the like Hindi
That's
belt
how
of
we got
India.
caught now with Munawar, because the jokes were in Hindi and the police understood it like right away.
No, actually, see that I got arrested for doing comedy, but the joke was not mine. So I just only had that hurt, like why the joke was not mine. So next time I want to
Mm-hmm.
go to jail, I only want that the joke should be mine. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was the unfortunate case. Okay, so I always wanted to go to jail, and every comic in India wanted to go to jail after seeing Munawar. But unfortunately, they are not privileged enough. So Munawar was privileged enough, but and I got the chance with him. So I am thankful and grateful for him. But I am just hurtful because the joke was not mine. I hope that you are not getting it, but people in India are getting it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the context situation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
so like
Do you have like is this an issue where there when you perform in Hindi, how much of the audience is fluent in Hindi?
everyone. Like because I have never performed in Bangalore and any other state which is speaking
Yeah.
not speaking Hindi. So yeah, so
Right.
exactly like the most of my audience are speaking in Hindi, and like Hindi is the
Yeah.
prime language what we call in India. So like
Mm-hmm.
everyone understands that because of Bollywood and everything. Like what I think like
Right.
globally also people trying to understand Hindi. So
Sure.
I was living in Bombay and I was living in a hostel. And then I seen that people of 360 countries came to India just to celebrate Shah Rukh Khan's birthday.
oh.
So he has a
Wow.
huge fan culture. So it's like all about that. Like people are watching Bollywood movies and all. So Hindi is like um, a global language in India, we can say.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows it.
So in any state, you can try it in Hindi. Like
Yeah.
so, they know
It's
Tuta Futa.
interesting to me because when I was in Bangalore, there was this girl, I forget her name, but she was speaking in Hindi, and then
Neha
an
Bogre.
Indian, I don't know, I
Okay.
couldn't tell you. All the names are split. She speaks really fast, is all I know.
Yeah.
But like, she, an Indian, a guy who's watching the show, who's from India, born in India, raised in India, was like, I couldn't understand a word she was saying. Because he was in the south part of India. I don't know what part, but like his Hindi was non-existent. And what was really interesting to me in performing in India is that there's no like full consensus on language in the audience, but also on the performer side.
Yeah.
So some are speaking English, some are speaking Hindi, some are speaking Gujarati, some are speaking Punjabi. It's like, and then the audience, there's no, somehow it's all making sense and everyone's laughing, but there's no like it's wild to me to see that. It's a totally different puzzle to solve.
Yeah, that's why we call a diversified country, right? That's the beauty of India. Like at every 100 kilometers, the language is changed, the culture is changed, the mythology is changed. Like, do you have any idea about Indian mythology, like Ramayana, Mahabharata?
No, I don't know anything about.
You are bad Muslim.
I-
Like, why you don't know about it? Like, it's all the fuck happening with Muslims in India is just because of these two books. Ramayana and Mahabharata. You should read that. Like whenever you come to India next time, read that before that.
What is it?
Ramayana and Mahabharata.
So they are the main two religious stories, like two books, two religious books which Hindus follow. So one is the Ram, you know
Gotcha.
Ram, right? Shri Ram, the whole Ravana
yeah.
story maybe. So that is Ramayana.
So we are
Gotcha.
Yeah.
just killing Muslims because of these two books. So these two books are like the main mythology of India, what we say now, right now.
Yeah.
So at every 100 kilometer, these mythology also change. Like like in your country, I don't know, like which religion do you follow? You follow Islam, right? And I don't know, like whatever. Like, but like for an American guy, like who is following Jesus, right? So the book of Jesus is same in every country. Like it doesn't matter in Australia, America, in whatever the country is, Jesus is same, right? But in India, Ram changes like at every 100 kilometer. Krishna changes at
Really?
every 100 kilometer, according to the perspective of Indian people, right? So it's about the culture. Like India is a very diversified country. It's not a state where like everyone speaking the same language. At every 100 kilometer, language changes, culture changes, every fucking thing changes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the beauty
It's-
of this country. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's impressive how much diversity there is in language and
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
I think what was interesting to me about performing in that context was that like there's like in the audience there's people who speak Gujarati, Punjabi,
Yeah.
Hindi, English, and sometimes only one or two, but like they're watching performances of people whose language they don't even speak. But like somehow it's still being communicated. But what I also found was that there's a breadth in different languages spoken, but there's less depth in a single language, if that makes sense. So like I'll give you an example. Like there are like jokes that I can do in English that are like funny because of a play on words that happens in like a particular, like using a particular word in a particular context creates funny that works effectively in the United States. And then I go over there and I feel like the relationship to English, even though everyone speaks English over there, it's like the kind of command of the language is a different, it's like because they're speaking multiple languages, the depth I felt of the English language felt more shallow. And so I had to kind of reduce my vocabulary to kind of connect with the audience. And that I found was very interesting. But then I could incorporate Hindi. So like I could use multiple languages to make jokes, but I like the shared vocabulary was smaller, is what I felt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
in
you're right.
India, English is a privileged language. Like it is just used for communication. Like we Indians don't know English, but we are just learning English just to get job, just to get fit in the society in the elite class circle and whatever we say. Like English is a privileged thing. Like if you know English, you can talk in English. You are a like something educated guy. What we say. Like I live in a town where nobody knows English. So they know that this guy knows English. So whenever they receive a letter from bank or any other forms like which is in English, they came to my house just to read that letter, and they praise me for that. And they praise me for that he is the intelligent guy, that he knows English. So it is a very privileged situation what you say that if you know English. But the actual truth is that nobody talks in English in India. They just use it for the verbal communication for their like profession or whatever we say. So we choose very few words just to communicate, right? We are not using English as our natural language, what we say. So
Yeah,
the
sometimes the
emotion-
words in Hindi are very complicated, and instead of using that word, you would just like to use the English word for it.
Yeah, exactly. So what we say, like we just choose English according to ourselves. We are not speaking the actual English, like, and we are not living in that language. So whenever we speak, we always speak in like our language. So we have our emotions, which always convey in that language only, mostly. So that's why
Yeah,
like
of
that
course.
is the problem. Like,
Yeah.
They speak English. They speak English well better than any American or any what we say like UK person, because I have seen like they also speak wrong English at many time. But in India, it's an issue. Like if you speak wrong English, that is a not normal word. Like you will get dished for that, or
Yeah,
you will get bullied for speaking
yeah,
wrong English.
it's seen as like if you speak incorrect English, people will judge you for it.
Yeah.
Which is again like that thing where basically slaves still colonial kind of mindset. But another interesting thing about the Hindi language versus English, and this is something I was just thinking on my flight back from Melbourne, is in Hindi we have two different words for like multiple alternatives for the same word, and the meaning of the word changes in like some context. Like for example, I can speak to you and I can say in English, I can say you are a good guy, but I can also say in Hindi, I can say tu अच्छा आदमी है, or I can say आप अच्छे आदमी हो. So tu means you without respect, आप means you with respect. So does that happen in the English language? I don't think so. You say you.
Not in English. It happens in Spanish though. There's like usted and tu. Yeah.
Usted and
so
tu, right.
Yeah, the tu form is like the casual form, and then usted is with respect. But it doesn't. There's no equivalent in English for the entire.
Yeah, unless you use some sort of like superlative or an like a adjective.
Yeah, there's like phrase variations, like may I have an apple versus can I have an apple. May seems a little bit more formal, but it's not like tied to the verb itself.
Yes. So like the meaning changes sentence to sentence. It's a landmine if you use the wrong.
If you get deep into it, right? But if you become a ignorant person and like just want to stay in like cities, then it's okay. Like then you can just speak English and just live in South Delhi or Bangalore and never go back to your.
I was living in a hostel in Bombay. That is a hostel only for like foreigners. They don't allow Indians anymore. So I was living with the like 30-40 foreign people. They were like someone was from Russia, someone was from America, someone was from Australia. So it was like a diversified like but what I think like they also get hurt, they also get ego issues. And they don't even like मैं हिंदी में समझाता हूँ इसको कि कभी कभी हम बोल कुछ रहे होते हैं, लग कुछ और रहा होता है. So it's just because they are in our country, वो हमारी कंट्री में है, they are not feeling that ego, और वो उस वक्त वो गुस्सा कर नहीं सकते शायद. पर अगर हम उनकी कंट्री में होते तो शायद वो बुरा मान सकते थे. जस्ट उनको पता भी नहीं है, अननोइंगली वो अवेयर भी नहीं है इस बात को लेके कि वी आर जस्ट यूजिंग इंग्लिश फॉर द कम्युनिकेशन. We don't know the context behind that. But what I got through talking about them, like जब मैं उनके साथ में दोस्त बना तो मुझे समझ में आया कि नहीं, उनको भी किधर किधर बुरा लगता है. But they are not showing it just because they are in our country. But of course, like
क्या बुरा लगता है?
Like the way you speak, like sometimes you don't know the context. Like you said that may I have that apple, or can I have that apple?
Gotcha.
Okay, you got that ego thing in those two sentences. But in India, like we are just trying English to communicate, so we don't know the correct pronunciation and correct
exactly. Yeah.
So like it's different, like.
So now we can talk about more topics as well, because I listened to one of your podcasts, Raza, and it was really funny to me, like how you were defending Dave Chappelle all the time in that. Do you remember that podcast? Like with two girls, and you were talking about freedom of speech. So I was just
Wow, that was like maybe
4
8
years
ago, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, you gotta send me the link. I don't even know where that is anymore.
It's on podcast, like iPhone podcast,
on YouTube?
whatever that app is. Like
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's an Apple podcast. I think it's on Apple Podcast.
I see. Okay, cool.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to know about it?
So yeah, I was going to ask, like, how long were you into comedy at that time, and did you start from Austin only, like, or did you start from
No, I started in Chicago, which is like the center of the United States. It's like the biggest city in the middle of the United States, and has like a really big scene. A lot of famous comics have come out of Chicago, so it was like a good place to start. But I started about 2018. So what is that? 7 years ago now. And at the time, there was like the American culture around comedy was very cancel culture format of like you can't say this, you can't say that, blah blah blah, very identity based. And so at the time, I think when that podcast happened, I was talking to two girls who were like anti Shane Gillis or something like that,
Right.
Because Shane Gillis just got canceled. So I was like very. What did he get canceled for?
So he got cancelled for one of his podcasts. He was talking about some Asian dude
exactly.
He was doing his accent actually, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so like at the time, I think the right move felt like it was very defending the ability to explore on stage. I think now in America, I don't know what it's like in India. It seems like India is still kind of struggling with that. But in America, that cancel culture zeitgeist has been wiped away. I mean, now there's nobody trying to cancel anybody. And especially with Trump's victory, it's like a pretty resolute change in you can say whatever, you can say retarded, you could say all these words that like they were trying to get banned. Now it's swung the other way. Now it's especially I'm in Austin, which is like Joe Rogan moved out here, and it has like a very that element, that energy.
Home of comedy assassins.
What's up?
Home of comedy assassins. He calls all the comics assassins.
Right. Right.
Have you got a chance to perform there? Did you get a chance to perform at
I've performed like
open mics?
Yes, but like very small shows, like the Monday show and the Tuesday show there. But I'm not past there. But like the energy now, especially because I'm from Austin, is it swung the other way. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like too much trying to be offensive in a way that feels boring to me.
Yeah, lame.
Yeah, it feels like
it's done already.
It's done already. Yeah. So that's the kind of at the time I was like that Shane Gillis thing or Dave Chappelle thing. I was like kind of fighting for their ability to say whatever, which I mean I still agree with, but it's like it's also boring if you're just if everyone's saying the same trans joke and then the same joke about retarded or whatever it is, it becomes overplayed and like feels stupid to me. So that's the kind of zeitgeist that exists in the United States now.
Yeah, that's so interesting, Raza, that you mentioned that, because I feel the same while watching Kill Tony. I feel like the comedians and the material that you're now seeing as standard fare has become stale, but it is being met with applause breaks still, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be
which is a testament. It's a testament to how stupid the audience is.
Yes. I have a theory on this also, but and especially for the Western audiences, but. I feel like it's like setting up the comedians at grassroots for failure, because the moment you step outside of the United States, let's say you want to go for a Just for Laughs, which I don't know if it's around anymore, or you want to go to Edinburgh or Melbourne, like that kind of material won't fly, like.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, the rest of the world is still kind of on the fence of whether we need to be woke or not. But in America, like I feel like you all have this almost incestuous scene that is currently being like formed, or is it?
I mean, what I agree with you. What I will say is that it is the epicenter of that is Kill Tony, Mothership, Austin, Texas kind of energy. I mean, I run a comedy club here. I don't think the club that I run and the people that perform at our club for the most part are like that. But like Austin has a bad reputation. If you go to New York and say you're an Austin comic, they perceive you as Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Which is a negative thing. It's like like kind of lowbrow shock humor that's predictable and kind of meant for morons, you know, like kind of like NASCAR. I don't know if you're familiar with NASCAR, but just like kind of inbred morons who have like far right political views. But like that, I mean, this is not the case. I have to like always do a defensive speech when I go outside of Austin. But like I would say what's sad about what you're saying is that like the perception that like New York or LA or the rest of America has about Austin, what you're implying is that because of Kill Tony, that's the perception people have of America.
Yeah, they do.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah. And also,
Because
as a follower, I wonder, like, if you say anything unpalatable about Kill Tony, does that get you into trouble with the powers that be?
I don't know. I'm not one of these that are, like, I've kind of just established my own like node within Austin. I run a comedy club and perform as much as I want and have like a small following and I tour around the country. So I'm not really privy to the power dynamics. But I imagine if you're at the mothership, then yes. I mean, he is powerful. So like obviously you have to. He does also have this kind of energy of kiss the ring. Like when you get on his show, now you're one of his little puppets that he like one of his freak show freaks. That being said, I mean there's a lot of people on the Kill Tony show that are like regulars or people I started out with and are friends of mine and I respect greatly. But like there is that vortex that like doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long were you like doing comedy at that time, at the time of podcast, and you called yourself in that like you were offensive comic, right? You were like talking like that your comedy is a bit offensive, and you sounded a bit young as well, right? So I just wanted to because basically Kashyap, what happened, he was in a podcast with two girls. I think they were music artists, like they were musicians, they were not actually comics as well. So he was trying. So they started talking about Dave Chappelle's special. Like I think at that time only one of his specials was out, and his jokes about transgenders and all. And then they also started talking about Shane Gillis, and he had to defend comedy in that conversation. And
yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and he was you were pretty brave actually. You know, you tried to defend. Dave Chappelle's joke about the like he made those Chinese eyes in the special. Yeah, you were trying to defend that joke. And I was like,
I think unsuccessfully. I didn't get asked to do that podcast again. So I mean, I think when I first started off, I saw myself as like an offensive comic. I wouldn't say. I mean, I still do somewhat offensive stuff, but like it's not. It's more like observational now. I think everyone kind of leans towards a particular format of comedy when you first start. Like the analogy I would make is in basketball, like maybe you first start off basketball or cricket for you, Nalin, so that you start off as the batter. I don't know enough cricket to know what the positions are, but like in basketball, like let's say you do a jump shots or you're really good at playing right underneath the basket or 3-point shots or whatever, and then you slowly build like other skill sets so that you're a well-rounded basketball player. I think that's the same idea with comedy, where maybe you start off as like, let's say, really good at performance or really good at joke writing or one-liners, or like let's say your niche is like racial humor, which was mine. I like really enjoy racial humor, and I still do that, but I like kind of spent a lot of time avoiding that to build other. I was getting tired of just like every joke going back to race in some way. It felt predictable. So, I wouldn't. It's embarrassing that I call myself an offensive comedian. I mean, it can be offensive, but like that's not the intention.
Yeah, but I really loved like listening to that podcast because I was like, okay, he was also like us at that time, because when we started doing comedy, Andrew Schultz, like his bit about that feminism, they started picking berries, all those bits, the Trump one, like let a millionaire finger you, I think something was that, like something like that. That
right.
Yeah, so like in India also, like people started doing that a lot, and right now it's a similar phase that is happening in India as well. Like a lot of comics are now doing offensive material and dark jokes and sex jokes, and now it's
even after the Habitat thing.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
Does that?
so basically you don't have to speak anything political. Like you don't do
yeah.
anything political, and you will be safe.
Misogyny is allowed,
Hmm.
racial jokes are allowed, body
Yeah.
shame, anything like whatever, transgender, any jokes
Yeah.
are allowed. Only political jokes are
Yeah,
not
you
allowed
can't
in
joke
India.
about the
But
right wing.
what? But I thought India's got latent or whatever got shut down because of
Yeah.
like a vulgar joke, right? That wasn't political.
So two things in India. Two things that you can't do. Political, you can still do as long as you're not fucking around with the current administration. And even if you are, just like be smart about the timing and the location of your joke. If you
Hmm.
do it in Bombay against, Maharashtra's chief minister, obviously you're going to get into trouble. Um,
Hmm.
Second one is gods. You can't talk about gods. But then
Hmm.
Indians are so sensitive. We put God in everything,
Huh.
right? We will
Even our
put God
parents are
inside of
big
a
gods.
cow. We will put God inside of our mother. We will put God, wherever
Hmm.
we can find someone who is supposed to be revered, we'll put God there.
Hmm.
And so the India's God latent controversy was mostly about respect your parents.
Hmm.
How can you say
I
things
see.
about your parents? That's what it became. Parent is
I
like
see.
God.
Yeah.
So
Right.
A lot of comics makes the like stage
Interesting.
a god as well. You know, they do this before getting on stage. Like a lot of Indian comics
Yeah.
do that, and they treat stage like that.
Uh,
it's so ridiculous. The blind faith in this country and the emotions around it. Uh, it's people would like if I went to a Western stand-up scene and I told them
mm,
everything that happened in India in the last 10 years around comedy,
Mm-hmm.
they would be shocked. Like India's had many Lenny Bruce moments.
Mm-hmm. Like he is
You
yeah.
one
know,
of
It
the
seems.
Lenny
It
Bruces
seems.
of India. Nalin is one of the Lenny Bruce of India, I
Hmm.
feel, because
Yeah.
how many days was he
Nalin
in jail?
Bruce.
Nalin,
Nalin Bruce. Let's go.
Nalin Bruce.
Yeah,
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 it's
Nalin.
interesting. It's like it's a democracy, but it seems very very pro censorship in India.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's
Yeah.
really bad. Yeah. But Nalin, what's like now you tell me, man, what like
Uh,
you have been at the receiving end of all of this. What's your take on offensive comedy and like is it something you want to do? What is offense even? Like I think it's subjective. How
Yeah,
do you feel about all of this?
it's subjective, but like whatever we follow, like the stand-up comedy like is based on like punch up and punch down.
Yeah.
So until you are not punching down any community or anything, like which you can do easily, like I was watching that Sandeep Sharma, you guys know? Sandeep,
Yeah.
you
mm-hmm.
know, right? Like
Yeah.
he don't know. So
Yeah.
he's a Brahmin comedian of India. He
Yeah.
speaks Hindi and he's from like Varanasi or somewhere like UP state, Uttar Pradesh.
Mm-hmm.
So he was using it as a underdog and he was doing what we say a nationalist joke. What it was not also a joke. It was just a nationalist statement. What he said into his comedy and it got like cheered up by Bharat Mata Ki Jai
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
and, and Jai Shri Ram and whatever.
uh,
And same comedy I also get same kind of comments, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram, but the emotion is fucking different. They
Mm-hmm.
just want to kill me because of my jokes. So
mm,
it's not about the offense. See, if I am a man and I am talking about women's and I am like doing any kind of comedy on them and I'm punching them down, so it's a wrong thing. Like what we say, what I say that democracy, they say that we allow freedom of speech, but not for everything. It doesn't mean that whatever you want you can say. It's not like America that you can say to a police officer that I represent myself as a cat, right? So we allow freedom of speech, but with logic. But right now, what has happened in India, like we forgot that logic. So
mm,
right now, like if you are talking about women's, you are talking about anything like your parents or like whatever, like any cultural thing. So then it's okay. Like what I will tell you that right now I'm like just exploring into my what we say hood. Okay, so there people are just talking about the drum lady. So can anybody explain him what is the
Yeah,
drum
so
lady
basically,
thing?
this recently incident happened in India where so a wife killed her husband with her lover. So what they did was they killed him and then they put him into a cement drum, and now that drum is famous. Like people are like making jokes about it. Indian women are making TikToks about it. Like, don't dare you cheat on me, otherwise I have this drum. And then there are songs being written about it. So it has become a whole scene in India. Like the drum
Wait,
basically.
the wife killed who? Her husband?
Her husband with her lover. So basically, she planned with her boyfriend that she would kill her husband, and then both of them they killed him, and then they put him in a drum. So cement drum. It was a blue cement drum, and it got famous in India because like everyone like got the irony of it and were making jokes about it. And now it represents a thing, like you can say anyone, like instead of them saying that I will kill you, I can just say I will put you in the drum. So they will get it like this. Yeah, he will kill me. So that's the thing.
Right.
Wholesome logic behind this thing is that, like in India, like we are like fucking women from thousands of years. Like we are, the Sati Pratha. Like it was a ritual in which, like, if your husband died, you have to sit in that buried, what we say, chita in English.
Funeral pyre.
Whatever. So
Funeral
you have to sit with her dead body, and you have to you people will burn you alive. So like we are so fucking insecure, man. We are killing them from thousands of years. But right now there is a situation which came into our like news feed or whatever we say, like that there is a woman who kills her husband. Now all of the men gathered like in the one side of the country, like they are just hating women. So there are two cricketers, prime cricketers of India, Hardik Pandya and Yuzvendra Chahal. They both got divorced, and there is a crowd in India who is who is shaming their wives.
Slut shaming their wives.
Yeah, like saying anything like bullshit, like what we say, prostitute, or like things like this. Like they are just getting shamed for divorcing their husbands, but nobody knows the real truth. So the what I want to say, that if you are onto the side in which country is going, like right now, like if you are slamming Muslims, if you are talking about the Muslim religions, if you are talking about the Muslim religion jokes, so then it's okay. But on the other part, if you are talking about Hindu religion jokes, then it is a shameful thing. Then people will take offense. So people are taking offense by their choices, right? In Telangana, I can do comedy on Hindus, on Hindi speaking people. But in same in MP, I can't talk about Hindi speaking people. But if I slam a guy from South India or something, they will praise me just because I'm the Hindi speaking guy. So it's like I told you that India is a diversified country. So we have diversified opinions on that. So we take offense according to our category. Like there is not a parameter set that you can speak this, you can't speak this. So that is the main issue. So like
Actually,
if
they
you are
are
talking
trying to,
about
like they're slowly taking offense to every shit we are saying. Like first it was something else, then they felt that now they are like it is affecting them, so they started doing more, getting more offense, taking more offense on more jokes, and now it's become like they can take offense on anything. We are just waiting for our turn, like when they will listen to our jokes and take offense to it. Like there's no logic left in it right now.
so
They
you
just want
don't
to
have
suppress
basically you don't have any idea that what you have to speak and what you don't have to speak. It's like it's a imaginary thing. Offense is an imaginary thing which can come from any side from the country. Like you don't even know that, you don't have even that intention to say these things to that people, but it will come from anywhere. Like so you can't save yourself from them.
Yeah, Habitat
So
was broken the second time this time. Like it was the second time they broke Habitat. Before it, they came earlier as well because there was a female comic in India, Agrima Joshua. So she did a joke about Maharana Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Like I don't know the whole full name, but basically she didn't use the Maharaja term at the front. Okay, and because of that, they took offense and they went to break the Habitat at that time. So that that was the first time.
Wait, because she didn't use like the Maharaja
Yeah,
term?
Mr. Yeah,
Yeah.
that term.
So Maharaja is a like respectable term you used to have before that guy name, like whatever you think.
I see.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
what?
But
Yeah,
she was
what's
actually reading a tweet, like which was a real tweet. She was just reading that tweet. So there was no Marana written in that tweet. So she just read that, and they still took offense to that joke. and yeah, so you
So
can't say anything.
right now, what happened? Like Kunal Kamra, the joke he was saying, the song he was singing, it was the same statements was earlier told by many what that party like
Politicians.
Shiv Sena, old Shiv Sena. Their leaders have said that everything whatever Kunal Kamra said in his setup, but they take the offense like on Kunal Kamra because they knows that he is a comedian. So, whatever we say, it's not about the offense right now. Whatever is going in country, you speak anything, you check any parameters. But right now, like, if people, what I want to say, like, जैसे अगर कॉमेडियन पे जोक नहीं बनाएंगे, तो फिर देश का जनता पूछेगा ना कि नौकरी किधर है, ये काम किधर है. So right now they are using comedians for their propaganda. So it's
So
not
diluting
about the
the
comic or it's not
meaning.
about the offense. Like nobody fucking is getting offended by Kunal Kamra, and nobody is fucking getting offended by Munawar Faki or whatever I am doing. But they are just using their propaganda, right? Like right now that people around me, they know that he's a comedian who went to jail for saying something. Then he went to jail with a Muslim guy. So right now, like the situation is going for Muslims in this country, they think that I am supporting any terrorist group or I am getting funds from any illegal country like China or like whatever. I am getting illegal fraud funds. So I am speaking and I am working for the terrorists right now. So they don't even care that what I speak and what I talk about. I basically talk about those peoples only. I never talk about political. I don't do political comedy, but whatever I do in my comedy, that is political because I come from the society. So whatever the fucking I am talking about, that is unawarely political, right? But they don't care about that. They just care about my house. So right now they want my house, so they will use this as a propaganda that he talks about Muslims and he's talking about the government. So that's why now they want my house. So I hope you are getting it. So they are just using
What do
it.
you mean they want? What do you mean they want your house?
So the local leader where he lives is trying to like capture his house. Like they just want to get him out from that and then take his house.
So they are just using my
Wait,
comedy as a
what?
propaganda. Yeah, bro.
What?
Yeah.
So
They could just take your house?
yeah, exactly. So they are just
Was
using
this
my
Israel?
comedy. Yeah,
Do you live in the
of course,
West
bro.
Bank?
No, but it is like that. So
No, but it's actually worse. It's like Netanyahu trying to occupy a Jewish guy's house. It's like
yeah.
that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait, so then how can they take your house based on your this? So they're alleging that you're like tied to terrorism or whatever, something like
So
that,
basically, what
so
they will
that
do
they
is
can.
they will
No, it's a
they
long
will
story. See,
they will make
हाँ.
him leave the. अच्छा, okay, you can. Sorry, Nalin.
No, you can say like मेरे को
Yeah.
बहुत मुश्किल पड़ेगा इसको
So
समझाना.
basically, what happens
हाँ.
here in India is that they will now like make his life hell. That they will make him leave that place, and then it will not be sellable to anyone because they cannot sell it to another person because they know that then the leader will trouble that person as well. So he would have to sell it to him only at a cheaper rate because no one else will buy it because he yeah, he owns
Wow.
the police, he owns everything there. So they will make him leave or they will beat him. Like they do that. They actually I think have like laid hands on him a few times as well, like before as well. This has happened with him. So they are trying to like this is how they capture land and
See,
properties.
there
And-
was I was doing the comedy and like it was not my joke I went to jail for. So it was
Yeah.
somebody else's joke. He was Muslim. I am Hindu. But the fuck I went to jail with a Muslim guy and I speak some things about Muslims. That's why they are using it as a propaganda. They broke my brother's leg. He was never into comedy. He never did comedy. They broke his leg. He was on the bed for 6 months, and I was living in Bombay, just trying out that my comedy would work. But people in India think that only Muslims are suffering, bro. So it's a very dynamic situation. Like you can never get like if you are an MP and if you are a Hindu, it doesn't care whatever you are going from them. But if you are in a Kashmir, if you are a Muslim, it will care that it is. So it's different, like in every each other state. I'm not talking about just Hindu or Muslims.
Yeah.
Like if a Bangalorean is in Delhi, he will get beaten just because of not speaking correct Hindi. And if a Delhi guy is in Bangalore, he will get beaten up for not speaking correct Malayalam, whatever they speak. Like, so it's a balanced situation. Okay, we beat everybody, they beat us. So we are just compromising on that
I love
situation.
that. I love how
So
balanced.
what are you gonna do? What are you
Yeah.
gonna do, Nalin? Are you gonna sell your house?
Yeah, I am trying to, but I'm not finding a buyer. They are not giving the right price. And right now, this house is on my mom's name. So I have to transfer it on my name. My mom died just before 2 months I went to jail. So,
I'm
like
sorry.
we didn't get the time to transfer it and everything, and we
Mm,
didn't had the money. So right now I have to transfer this house onto my name. So it requires a lot of money. Then I can sell this house. Then also I have to find a buyer who can buy this house in the right price. So
mm-hmm,
the situation is like we live in an industrial area. This is the Asia's biggest industrial area. So
mm-hmm,
living spaces are very few there. Like it's like a situation like a Bombay. So
mm-hmm,
हमारा बहुत छोटा घर है पर बहुत महंगा है. तो सब सस्ते में
mm,
लेना चाहते हैं. तो that's why
So
like
mm,
we
basically,
are
what
just
happens in
fighting.
India is if your house is in an industrial area, it will cost more than the house in a residential area because they can
sure.
sell it to a bigger company for their warehouses and other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Make condos or something.
Yeah, so that's
Correct.
why they want our house in the cheap price, and they think that my mom and dad had done the love marriage thing. So in 1991, so their relatives abandoned them. So now both are died, so no relative visits to my house. So what other in my surrounding people thinks they just have two brothers, and one has been to jail, one has a wrong reputation or negative reputation, and one is a child. So one has already moved out to any other city, like what I told you that I want to shift to like Bombay or Delhi or like whatever. So I am
Mm,
trying this from last 4 years. So they think that one brother has already run out. Like we will through the second one also, and then we can accomplish this house. Like what we say. इसको आया समझ में?
wow. Yeah. Yeah. Huh, I guess so much.
हाँ.
That's wild. That's a wild story. I mean, I think that's you know what's fascinating is the level of corruption in India is breathtaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
People
it's
are.
the
It's
level of corruption, and also it's a mandatory thing. Like right now, that this is my mom's house. She's died. So apparently, this house should be mine, right? So there should be no process, no any paychecks, or should be required to get this house on my name. But if now, right now, I want to took this house on my name, I need 1 lakh rupees. So this is a
mhm,
fucking corruption thing that uh, breaks you, right? Like if you want, this is my house. My mom paid this for this. So government
mhm,
shouldn't. My mom paid every taxes for this to make this house, right? But right now, if I
mhm,
want this house back to on my name after she died, I have to pay to the government again.
Mm.
mm,
So this is a fucking system, like which upper class and privileged class people don't know about that. Like when we talk about Bombay guys, Delhi guys, Bangalorean guys, they don't know the 90% situation of the India. You know what is the main problem of Bangalore guys? Like I am a friend with a Bandra guy, Bandra in Mumbai. So his problems are like that AC was not working last night, driver was not there, and my problem was there okay, like I don't have the money to pay for the petrol in my scooty.
Yeah.
So there is a vast different gap which people can't understand, and I think it will take years to people get understand. Like if a guy like me from Indore, if doing stand up comedy in Bombay, it will take like 2 or 3 years to understand Bombay guys, like what they think about and how I can communicate them that what I am thinking about.
It leads to a
बहुत
lot of
होगा.
loneliness as well when you move to the big city when you're from small town because most of the time you don't get the happiness of the big city people, right?
I love America just because let me tell you that in India, they see in America they are logical. They are killing people because of color. You are black, kill him. You are white, kill him. But in India, we are so fucked up. We ask community, we ask caste, we ask religion, then whatever the fucking thing we can ask just to kill for a man. So that's why I love America. They at least I know that I am a black. I should not get out at this time of point. But in India, we are not like it is a surprise. Like if you are walking in the same state, you are walking from the 100 years. But if you are going in the same state on the next day and somebody will come, you are a Hindu, kill him. You are a Muslim, kill him. So it's not about your color. It's not about anything you have done for this country. Like it's about your ancestors. You are like just buktoing. Yeah.
Wow, it has become a lot like a big tribal civil war. Like India has become like that right
Yeah.
now. Like
See,
even the
what
East
I
Indians,
think
they are
is that
fighting.
Pakistan can never harm us, and any other country can never harm us. We are only self-capable for that. We will kill each other. You don't have to do any terrorist attack here. You don't have to do anything. Like, why you are wasting your money? We are doing it for ourselves only. So, I don't know you are getting it or not.
Yeah,
Man,
everyone
Raza,
is getting. We are getting it.
Puneet Panya is a comedian who has a great line on this, and it's like it distills everything about India that's so fucked up. He says the greatest achievement an Indian can make is to get out of the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. My passport is in the court, but also I want to like I daily watch that
Yeah.
Taro ke niche ka video. You know, wo
The,
donkey. You know the donkey thing.
you know,
Yeah.
So
donkey.
So the
I follow those bloggers who do donkey thing
So
to
donkey is
America.
a pathway from Mexico to get into India like illegally.
Uh,
That route is called donkey route, I think. So a lot of Indians are going there. And there
uh,
was a news recently. A lot of Indian people are just leaving their babies there, so that they can get the citizenship of US. Like this is also happening. This happened,
wow.
yeah, a few days ago. I read that news. So
You know what's
Rahul,
interesting to
looking,
me is that India is like there are a lot of smart people in India. Like it is like a intelligent country. Like there are smart people, but it's just so poorly run. Like it should be competing with China, but China is just eons ahead.
yeah,
And like it's like kind of sad because I think it's the culture that's the reason it's behind. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a very selfish culture in India of like me, I'm gonna take advantage of the system to benefit myself. And like I noticed this immediately when I went to India for the first time because I came to India for the first time when I was 30 years old. It was my first time. I was living in Africa and I came to Bombay, and I was in the airport line, and everyone kept cutting me. And I've been all over the country. I have never seen where you're in a line at the airport and people are like angling to get in front of you, and it's like you see me, I'm standing right here, but it's a very like I'm gonna take advantage of the situation of the organization. I'm gonna take advantage of the organization to benefit myself, and it's like
So is it an
it
Indian
creates
thing or like even people like in Africa or like maybe other third world country? But just
no.
Indian.
I was in Tanzania, and the Tanzanian person was like, "You have to respect the line." He was saying it. He was frustrated at Indians. You would think it would be like bad everywhere. I mean, Africans have their own issues and stuff like that. Like Africans have a problem with lack of maintenance. You know, they don't like, you know, all these railroads were built in Africa and then they just let it decay, and no like future oriented behavior. Which is, I think, a weakness of the African community. But like Indians have like a very I don't know a better word for it than corruption, where it's like the mentality of individual Indians is I'm going to take advantage of the system to benefit me at the expense of the system of its at a
I think it comes
and
from the
you
caste
feel that in the
system. Like,
cities.
I don't know, but I think it comes from the caste system because caste was a way, you know, a loophole in the society at that time. They created this loophole to get away with more privileges, and now they just want to upgrade that, like their whole life is like that, like
Yeah.
maybe like getting treated like that, like coming first in line, receiving the things
Right.
first themselves, maybe.
I mean, yes, there's a certain sense of entitlement in people who are privileged, but I also feel like the system is already so like lethargic, and it's meant to like defeat you. That by the end of it, you're like, if I can take advantage of the system, then why not? Like I'm already
Yeah.
fucked over left, right, and center by, like, I'll just give you a quick example. I am fighting a tax case against the Indian government, which is going to now reach the High Court, for paying my tax late. Okay, I paid 6 months late, goods and service tax, which is a business related tax. I paid 6 months late, but I paid it on the dot, exactly full figure. And 10 years later, they sent me a show cause notice saying, why did you evade the tax? And I sent them the receipt saying, no, I've actually paid. Here are the receipts. They're like, yeah, you paid, but you paid 6 months late. So now you owe every single rupee that you paid late because we consider it evasion of tax. And I told them, dude, if I didn't pay you late, I would not have been able to afford my team's salaries, just because one of my clients was defaulting. And they were like, that is not our concern. So they don't care about employment. They don't care about actually paying people. All they care about is how much can you, like we call it nichodo, meaning how much can you squeeze
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
citizen.
This is very Bandra boy thing that they are paying taxes for their whatever we say. Like, let me tell you the story. Like in India, I'm so sorry, Kashyap.
Please,
But-
please.
But in India, we have a challan on wearing helmet. Helmet, you know? Do you ride a bike?
Yeah.
So if you wear a
I got arrested for it.
if you wear a helmet, किसका life save होगा? तेरा, right? है ना? But we have the challan on saving our life, you know? So I will die because of the helmet. If I am not wearing the helmet, I will die. But government is charging the challan for me because of not wearing the helmet. And
Yeah,
what
but that
Indian-
because they have to be fair, they have to clean up your body off the street
yeah, exactly. And also
and
also
put it in a
what
drum.
What Indian people are doing? What Indian people are doing? They are wearing the helmet in their wrist bones, like here, in this, and they use it whenever they see police. They don't fear from the death; they fear from the police. So that's the
Yeah.
fucked up system. Like it's not about the taxes; it's getting fucked up from the rural areas. Like it's starting from
Yeah.
there.
It's basically.
But another thing that
Yeah.
I'll say this is I want your guys' perspective on it, is that there is this one thing I enjoyed India a lot. I stayed a while there and I really loved it, but I don't want to come off as complaining. But like
How about the
But
fruit?
you can complain. You can complain. This is not a like
No,
ranting
no.
podcast.
Have you eaten any fruits here? Fruits?
what's a fruit? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course, right? So you can't complain anything about India. See, you
Yeah.
people don't have guava, you people don't have sweet mango. So you are just carrying out. So you don't speak any rubbish about India. See, these two guys are like educated comedians, but I am the proper right-wing comedian here.
Uh-huh.
So in front of me, like you can't slam India, okay?
Yeah.
Which country you live?
That
In which
What's
country you
up?
live? In which country do you live?
USA.
Do you know Lawrence Vishnoi?
No.
Oh, it's
You should know about him. You know,
He's a famous gangster in India.
I have been to jail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so he knows people.
yeah. I'm sorry. You can speak.
No, you're good. There was this is not even about India, but there's an Indian archetype, like a type of person who I notice very much in India, which is when people in India have money, there's a try-hard masculinity that like appears that I've seen more in Indians than I've seen in any other culture, which is they're very like particular about like undercutting you. Like they see masculinity and wealth as a means to prove superiority like hacking at you, like you're like demeaning you, undercutting you in any way. I've noticed that in India, and I'm wondering if that's like something you've noticed, or is like
I
a
think
kind of
it's also because Britishers did that a lot with us, na, for a
Yeah,
long time.
exactly,
So I
exactly.
think
We have a
so we have also adopted that from them. Like we just want to
yeah, I see.
criticize. Yeah, we feel better after criticizing someone. I think maybe it's that, or maybe it's just the
Yeah,
small
yeah.
penises. Maybe it's just the small penises that is making them do that. Like that is
Raza,
also happening.
can you give an example of this?
For example, I can give an example. Like if you're
Sure.
driving a car on a road,
owning a Thar.
and suddenly you cross a Thar, like you get in front of that car, so they will feel like, oh nah, how can he get in front of us? So they will drive fast and then get ahead of you and then honk at you and shout at you to prove that they are more masculine. So that kind of stuff, right, Raza? You were talking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like tied to a masculinity too. Like the example that I'm thinking of is like we met someone when I was in India, and like I asked, I asked a simple question of like, is there mandatory military service in India? Because I'm not familiar with it. And the guy's response was, "What are you, dumb? Of course not." But like it was like an immediate like to show like knowledge superiority, but it was like it felt, and I've noticed this not just in that particular person. It feels like an Indian, a wealthy Indian trait to kind of convey superiority by undercutting others around them.
Yeah, I think it comes with their fathers as actually, because most of the guys are trying to copy their father only in India, I feel. So I have seen a lot of times that like how patriarchy works in India is that there's a main guy like the grandfather or the father. He will be the main
Right.
guy of the family, and he has to be a critic all the time. Like
Put
he
down.
doesn't do anything by
Yeah.
himself, but he's critiquing all the time. Like make right food, go play, go dance,
Right.
go study. So they try to become like that, and then they like take the so they feel superior when they are telling someone, like criticizing someone. Maybe that's the like core
I see.
thought of it. Because I've seen a lot of like teenagers. Because when I was a kid, I was a bit like very depressed kid, so I never got into these things. But I realized recently that a lot of kids in India, when you talk to them, they do this thing only. Like they just talk like that they know everything, they have a plan, they will do it. And they try to, like, if you're doing something, you're talking to them, you just say like, I had a bad day, then they will start giving you advices ki, like, you should do your work better, you should sleep on time, don't do drugs, like anything. Like they will just keep on
Right.
just giving you advices.
Kashyap, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I've noticed that, and even the internet is full of material of Indians kind of like trying to one up or dominate. Even when
Dominate in a way that's actually like it. They think it signals superiority, but what it actually signals is insecurity.
insecurity, yes, 100%. We have a complex, and it's again all of this is colonial. We've been pressed for so long that now we are like trying to weave this narrative that India used to be what we call sone ki chidiya, like bird made of gold. We got exploited, and now we are dominating the world scene. Like Modi is our Führer, and we're going to come back and rule the world. We're going to overtake China. None of that is really true. Like we are not ever going to, if things go the way they are going, we're not going to win the global race. But cultural pride and just, oh, I am Indian, so I deserve to be treated with respect, and this is a problem. But I mean, could be patriarchy, could be
I think we
oppression.
are also overcompensating now because of, like, we are trying to balance out our culture. Like earlier we were known for peace and harmony and just keep
Yeah.
being to ourselves. But now we are trying to project a like different image. Like we are more.
Yeah, it's
Strength. Sure. I mean, my only rebuttal to that would be that like colonialism, like most of the world was colonized. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's a. I think there's something internal about Indian culture that like to me, that's what it screams, but I could be wrong. But I mean, I think like it feels very present in the psyche.
Mm.
Did you talk about
So
it with your friends as well, like from US or India when you were here? Did you talk about this?
I have talked to, and they've agreed with me. Like I had a friend who he's Syrian. He's a comedian. He's really funny. His name is Osama Basal, and he went to. Do you know him?
Yeah, of course. He's
He's
come
great.
India before. Yeah.
I think
Oh
so.
yeah,
Yeah, a long time back.
and he was telling me he grew up in Dubai and went to a school that was like primarily like Indian, and he was telling me stories that I wouldn't be able to retell, but because I don't remember him correctly. But he was saying he saw a lot of that, of like, the Indian guy had a friend who was Bangladeshi and treated the Bangladeshi person like shit, and Osama one day asked him, was like, why do you treat him like shit? He's your friend. And he's like, if I didn't treat him like shit, then it would like it was almost understood that it was necessary to kind of hack away at this person. Yeah, like it, like too much. Like it's of course all humans are establishing power dynamics all the time, but like it felt very like forced and unnecessary. Like coming from a position of insecurity, as I mentioned before.
I don't know why that is, but I know for sure that that is the main reason why Indians love Trump, because he also does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Indians, like, they are totally crazy about him right now. So because of those antics.
Yeah, dude, I'll give you one anecdote from like life growing up. So I studied in this very decent school, one of the top boards in the country, English medium school, and sorry, go on.
Was it IIT?
No. That's like we don't call that school. We call that college. IIT, yeah, that's university. School is like second grade to 10th grade, first grade, 10th.
Sure.
Yeah. So in fourth grade, I befriended this very quiet kid in class, and I visited his home. And this is like way before I knew what religion is, and like those concepts hadn't like hit my brain yet. But I went to his house, and just two fourth grader kids, having fun in the other kid's house. And his mother came up to me and she said, "How come you're here?" And I was like, I don't understand the question. She's like, "Nobody chills with him." And I was like, "But why?" And then later I found out it's because that kid is Muslim. And none of our classmates had ever made an effort to be friends with him. And I didn't realize that in fourth grade, can you imagine, when a kid is maybe 10 years old, they are being told what person to be with and what not to be with. And so, I mean, yeah, it's like, it's a little bit fucked up. Starts very
Did you
early.
stop being friends with him once you found out?
Did you feel good about it? Okay.
Yeah, no, we are not friends anymore, but that's just because, he stole shit from my house. Now I'm fucking around. Nice kid, nice kid. Yeah, anyways, sorry. Deviation.
Yeah. So, how were you brought up? Like, you were in US only? You were brought up in US, or you were in other countries traveling?
Yeah, also, what's your lineage, man? What's your genetic heritage?
Yeah. I mean, I was born in the United States. I am so my dad is from India, Bangalore. My mom was originally from North Delhi, but so my mom's dad is from North Delhi. Her grandparents, or sorry, not North Delhi, North India, Delhi, and then her grandparents are from Iran.
Ooh.
And then my mom migrated to Pakistan.
Whoa.
So it's like a mix.
Why? What year did she migrate in?
That I couldn't tell you.
Can't be pre-independence.
Yeah, my grandma migrated.
Oh, your grandma. Sure.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Wow. And you started doing comedy in Chicago.
Yeah.
So, like,
when I was
like, that was also really curious about you in that podcast, that your father showed you Dave Chappelle and
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, right. At
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time,
yeah,
so
yeah. We
he
used to
started
watch
watching
it.
comedy like from Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, like that standards. Mostly
Yeah,
people
when we were
they
kids.
first hear Russell Peters, like most of Indian comics.
Right, right,
But I think
right,
you are
right.
the
I mean,
first
I remember hearing.
that I know that like brown comic who started watching comedy from Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and not Russell
Yeah,
Peters.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the States. I've been traveling around a lot. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to stay in the United States, but my family's here, so that makes it difficult. But like right now, it feels like not that interesting to be here. So the quality of life is not that good for how expensive everything is. It's pretty. It's pretty. It's
So are
pretty
you
bad.
planning to move to some cheap country?
I just think Asia is really interesting right now.
Uh-huh.
And India is sort of interesting. I like Goa a lot. Like I could see myself living there for like months at a time, just because it's like I like the energy of that place. Very creative and naturally beautiful. But like I also think like Thailand and Vietnam have like really interesting. Like you can start projects and like build things and live like a really good life there at like a fraction of the cost. Like it's wild how expensive. I'll tell you, in America, I came back to America and I think 1 month after I came back, I bought 2 large pizzas for me and the family. It cost $60. Let me see.
$5,000.
60
Oh.
5,600 rupees
Fuck.
for 2 pizzas.
Wow.
Wait.
And not good pizza, not like whatever fancy Italian place. This was like a fast food Domino's kind of place.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then when I was in Goa, I was eating like fresh fish and like great
Yeah, you must have
delicious
loved it.
food for like for 300 rupees, 500 rupees is like having like really good food, and it's just like not. It doesn't seem worth it for the bang for your buck in America. The only thing is like I'm worried if I move to like somewhere like Thailand, my comedy will suffer because I won't have opportunities to go up. But I think if I move to Bangkok, I could potentially make it happen. That's the only thing that's like. Also, it's just like the whole deportations that are happening here. It just feels very like precarious to be in the United States right now.
Yeah, but you're were you born in the States? No.
Yeah.
So you're a naturalized American, right?
Yeah, I'm a not even a naturalized American, like a U.S. citizen. Like I was. Yeah. But it's I think the rules are being openly ignored.
Yeah. No.
Like even if you are a naturalized, they've deported people who got appropriate visas and blah blah blah. Like everything feels flimsy. These things, you realize all these rules are just arbitrary.
Yeah.
And so like there's this energy of I mean I don't feel scared particularly. I am an American citizen, but like it also feels like that sort of it's heading in a direction that feels
a lot like India.
Yeah, 100%. Like if I can leave and I can have a comfortable life elsewhere, would you like if you could leave and go to Vietnam and live a really good life for the kind of money that you're making in India? Would you? I mean, there's family considerations and then career considerations, but so it just feels like the energy feels negative.
But Raza, if you do it, they win. If you move, they win.
I don't know what that means anymore. There's no like, what does it mean to be American? Like,
yeah,
they win what? What am I fighting for?
Yeah, fair.
It's like I'm fighting for a good quality of life to make art and live in a peaceful way, and like I'm living in the heart of an empire that wants to continue down that kind of just in that dark trajectory. And you feel it all the time. The things that that are on the news are it's disconcerting. It's like a bad energy.
and I'd rather live in a place where I don't have to deal with that. So
Yeah, plus the medical cost as well in US it's pretty high. Like if you can't get medicines, then why even stay at that place? Like it's almost like India. It sounds like India, but I think they have to do this as well.
it is wild how, like, I'll give you an example. You guys know Plan B, the morning after pill?
Yeah.
How much does that cost in India?
Oh, wow.
I think Rahul might know.
No.
Okay.
Because of
So
Swiggy, whenever
Like-
I buy that, I also buy my munchies with it. So I don't remember the cost of it. Because I also buy snacks with it, just popcorn.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
things.
400, 300, 300, 400 bucks, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Something.
300, 400. I think.
yeah,
So,
it is because I like had to buy it when I was in India, and she was like, "Can you buy it?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." It was and I went there. In America, in India, it cost for I'm trying to look it up right now. It's $50, so 4,200 rupees for that pill.
In
Yeah,
America.
exactly.
In America.
iPill. iPill.
iPill.
iPill, $4,000.
4,000 rupees. 4,200
rupees.
rupees
iPill.
in America.
Oh, he's shocked.
Bro,
This is bola.
you take my number. I will, next time call me. I will give you it in 50 rupees.
Wow, shukriya.
Wow, nice. Yeah. Like next time I'll also buy from him only.
Yeah.
Yes, so
It's. I mean, it's.
4,000 रुपए का IPL कौन दे रहा है? IPL?
हाँ, in US.
अच्छा US में, हाँ US में दे सकते
We're
होंगे.
just comparing the
Yeah,
prices. Have you also
भाई उधर
thought
चुदाई का भी पैसा महंगा है. हाँ.
किधर in US ना?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so then but like that. It's not just for iPill or just for pizza. It's like literally everything is like that. Everything is so expensive, and so it's like and the quality of life doesn't match. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure all of you have like Masi's and like help that
Right.
help clean your house and stuff like that. Non-existent.
Yeah.
Non-existent. And like so like it costs you. It would
No,
cost.
But it differs from the class. It differs from the class. Not everyone in India does have house helps and house
Sure.
maids, you know. So like
Yeah, of course.
80 and 90% of India is living without of them only. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
like they are working in cheap here. But in
Yeah.
America,
Right.
like a country like United States, like so udhar because people are working, they are earning good money, so they can afford a house help. And they need a house help because they don't have time. So that's why it's about the situation, right?
But what I mean is at the gradient. So like if you are middle class in America, if you are middle class in India, you probably have help, right? Like obviously the poor in India don't have that. The poor in America don't have that. But what I'm saying is the middle class in India do have
in
like
middle class of India, we have a daughter-in-law. So basically, we don't invest on the housemaid. We invest a wholesome amount on the marriage of our younger children. So that's how it works in India. Like not every middle
even
class
cheaper.
family have the housemaids.
Right.
We have daughter-in-laws. Yeah.
Not even
yeah.
cheaper. She pays you for the job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The ultimate gaslighting.
Yeah.
So just wanted to ask all of you, like how much time do you have? Like do you have any place to go now? Or be like any work to do at this time, or like
For comedy?
No, not at this time.
Oh, right
because
now?
Normally we end the podcast here like around 1 hour 15-minute mark. But like right now, I just wanted to ask you guys before ending because I don't feel like now whatever you guys feel. So you're in, na?
I'm in.
I have like
Raza.
10-15 minutes.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, same.
Nalin, you have time?
फ्री हूँ भाई आजकल. कहीं जाना मुझे.
One question I wanted to ask you for the podcast was that how did the like controversies that have surrounded you and this thing like that the leader troubling you like for your house, how has that affected your comedy? Like because I think I feel it will be pretty hard for you to like do comedy at the same time, see the light of the situation. So how is it going right now?
See, basically, it doesn't affect your comedy, it affects your life. So, life is like, I don't have the words in English, but देख क्या है कि it's about the situation, right? So, I am grown up and brought up in the worst situation like this. So, I always knew that okay, this can come up someday, but I was never expecting that I will perform for a comic and I will get into jail. I was expecting that I will stole a bike, stole a car, or do something illegal. Then I will end up into jail. So that was the end moment. I was already prepared for that, but it happened unexpectedly because of that joke. So it took like years to settle from that thing that what I was doing it was not wrong. So in my place, like at my place, people think that I work from Pakistan or like some this shitty kind of thing. So like if I am smoking a cigarette which costs like 10 rupees, so it is a like privileged thing for them. So if I'm smoking 10 cigarettes in a day, they think that he's getting from money from somewhere, like he's getting too much of money, but they don't know the basic thing. तो इंडिया में क्या हुआ ना लाइक फर्स्ट कोविड फेस लाइक आई होप रजा यू विल गेट दैट in first pre-COVID phase, people walked to like thousands of kilometers. They died in between the way to reach their hometowns just to get safe for their family. Like okay, but in the second COVID like thing, they voted for the same government which let them died on the roads, but they voted for them just because they were offering them wheat and rice in 5 and 6 rupees per kg. So what they thought that this is only our graceful what we say like blessing. हम गरीब हैं, हमारा यही होगा. What they think like according to their God, उनको इधर ही झेलना है, उनका यही कर्म है. तो उनको 500 रुपए में वो चावल और गेहूं ही मिल गया. दैट्स वाई दे ओनली लाइक ग्रेसफुल कि हाँ इतना ही मिल गया, लाइक इट्स सो मच. सो व्हाट हैपेंड टू मी कि मैं इसी सोसाइटी के बीच में रहता हूँ. आई वाज नॉट फ्रॉम इन बॉम्बे और आई वाज नॉट फ्रॉम दिल्ली. I was a comic from Indore who started doing stand-up comedy in Indore when Indore never knew what is stand-up comedy. I started like spreading that pamphlets and poster boy, like what you say, like that salesman person that I used to call people in free for watching stand-up comedy. So I started stand-up comedy in Indore. So it was like I was doing comedy in Indore from 5 years, but it has never reached to Bombay or Delhi. It was just walking in Indore only. So when this case happened, so firstly what happened, like I lost my livelihood. I lost my the source of income, which is coming from the organizing comedy shows and everything, whatever I was doing in comedy production thing, right? So first of all, I lost my livelihood. Then I had a second challenge that I have to shift to any other metro cities, Delhi or Bombay. So if you are also working right in your life, and if somebody comes up to you that you have to shift in Bombay or Delhi, it's a kind of fear for a second what we say like 2 tier guy. Like मतलब small town आदमी के लिए ना Bombay और Delhi shift होना is like a big thing, right? Already a big thing. But फिर उधर जाते हैं हम और फिर then उधर जाके you have to start everything from the zero. So it's like एक के बाद ऐसे बर्डन तुम पे आता रहेगा धीरे धीरे. Then I was in Delhi for 1 year, then I was in Bombay from 1 year, and then whatever thing like I come from the like right now I am speaking so much English according to my society. But in Bombay and Delhi, when I speak this kind of English, where the people who knows Hindi, see, you don't know Hindi, so that's why I don't have any problem in speaking this type of English. But if you know Hindi and then also you are speaking with me in English, so then it is a problem, right?
Yeah,
so this happened with me
as well.
Yeah, this happened with me in Delhi and Bombay. Like I never fitted in that type of comedy circle or whatever we say. And what happened mostly with me, that I was a guy who was praising guys like Kunal Kamra and other hit comedians of that time. Like in your country, it was Dave Chappelle or anything. Like, just imagine
Mm-hmm.
that you were praising Dave Chappelle and you became a comedian and you went to jail with a Dave Chappelle. So, and
Mm.
then now you are getting to know that this Dave Chappelle is not the person I was liking to.
Hmm.
He is a completely different person. So I have seen so many celebrities kind of people in my life in these last 3 4 years. So it shook my mind that world is not behaving like it is seeing on camera, or like what we
Mm-hmm.
watch on like TV or anything. It's a
Mm-hmm.
entertainment industry. Of course, it is a thing going on left and right, but everybody is taking a side. Nobody is in the neutral kind of a side. Okay, like if you are a guy, if you
Sorry.
What
MashaAllah.
happened?
Go on. Sorry.
this is the thing Bombay guys do. Whenever a rural guy speaks about their rights, they become transgender. they 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 use that privilege, that whenever somebody shows them they are not enough privileged. So okay, so whatever happened in India, like what I was speaking, like uh, see, if you are a comedian and you have good followers in India, you have a good setback of audience, and if you are doing anything wrong, it doesn't matter if you belong from the right. Like if you are doing anything wrong with the perspective women, so it doesn't matter if you belong to the right, left, sorry. Okay, so left people also will support you. But if you're a guy from the right, and if you say anything shit about to a wrong woman also, then the left guy will like protest in front of you. So what, मतलब कुल मिला के मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि इधर ना लेफ्ट और राइट जैसा सिचुएशन है ही नहीं. इधर लोग ना मतलब अपना साइड लेके बैठे हुए हैं. लाइक इफ यू आर अ गाय, इफ यू आर अ कॉमेडियन, इफ यू आर फकिंग 50 गर्ल्स एंड तुम पे मीटू वीटू भी लगेगा, पर तुम मोदी जी की गांड मारते हो तो तुम बहुत अच्छे आदमी हो, राइट? नो, नो लेफ्ट विल कम अप इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, दे विल हाइड योर शिटी थिंग्स. बट सेम फिर राइट में भी वैसे ही है कि उधर तुम कुछ भी चुतियाब करो दुनिया में, पर अगर तुम मोदी जी की तारीफ करते हो तो देन यू आर द राइट ह्यूमन बीइंग. तो इधर ना पार्टी ऐसा बटा हुआ है. देयर इज नो स्पेस फॉर द सेकुलर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, व्हाट वी से. लाइक यू नो द chicken, you eat chicken, of course you are, Raza. So 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 chicken, whenever you search any animal on the Google, like if you search for deer, so deer picture will come. So if you search for lion, the lion picture will come. But whenever you search chicken, the butter chicken will come in the plate. So chicken is the secular animal. You know, he's not from the animal, he's not from the birds. Even birds also hate him. And animals also hate him. So I am the chicken on the comedy industry.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Fuck.
Yeah. It took a lot to me to got you. Like, I hope you got that.
Yeah, I got it.
I am a funny guy, trust me.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'll be back. I'm excited to see you perform. I'd love to see you
Yeah,
perform.
that will be nice. Like we can put more shows,
Yeah.
because I couldn't see you perform this time you came to India.
I
No, I
don't know.
don't want to go to a jail again with a Muslim guy. No.
Exactly.
They takes all the what we say, like perks of that, and we receive all the no. I want to go jail alone only.
Yeah.
I will never go to jail again with a Muslim guy. No.
Yeah.
Kashyap,
Matt,
what do you do for work?
I work in advertising, man. I direct ads.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got
Gotcha.
this wig. It's from a shoot.
Okay, it's a wig.
Yeah, it's a wig. Okay, Reza, dude, I had a question for you. Since I mean, we'll
what's up?
probably wrap up unless Rahul has anything to ask after this. But you mentioned you want to get. I mean, you're considering exploring another part of the world for stand-up. I mean, the feasibility aspect of it. Like even I've been thinking about this. There are like at least 3 major festivals that happen globally, maybe more than that. Have you considered like spending a month each at these festivals, and then like having home base in another country where maybe you can do 2-3 months of developing material, but then the rest of the 9 months, 10 months you're traveling across the world just doing festivals, because you get to do like longer stage time and your own shows. Is that a consideration?
That is, I mean, I just think like I've only looked at, what festivals are you referring to? The fringe festivals?
So Edinburgh, Melbourne, Adelaide. I'm sure there's more outside of these, but
I've only looked into Edinburgh, and it was just so expensive that like it feels like it would be that would be like a very cost inefficient way. Like if I went to Edinburgh, it's like you spend like thousands of dollars just on housing and everything. So it's like how I want to do something like that, but how do I do it in a way that's like economically? Because did you make money on your trip to when you did Melbourne?
So I was just doing the math. I have a financial planner spreadsheet. I made an $800 Australian dollar loss, which is around 40,000 Indian rupees. All included, all my expenses included. That's the loss I made. But for the 40,000 that I lost, I felt like I could do much more like material development and like gather more insights into self-expression, what I want to talk about, etc. Now I have a good idea of what I want to do in my narrative 60, and just 1 month of that has given me much more like joy for stand-up and writing and just confidence. That I
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, if it sounds worth it, I mean, for me, like, I would do something like that. I think the idea of Edinburgh, where you're competing with like a million different performers to get people to come to your show, seems stressful, and seems like, and maybe I'm wrong because I haven't really done it, but like, I would love to do that if I know like I can get people to come through the door. But like the idea of like barking and like kind of performing for empty rooms for a month feels like how did you promote it or advertise for it?
So I mostly flyered. I did like killer spots on lineup shows and flyered after that, because that was the most likely audience to come back. So that was my main strategy. I did some Facebook ads, did not work. 0% conversion for every rupee I spent, so total loss.
Right.
But here's what I figured, and of course, like I broke even on my venue rent and made some tickets save or through tickets. But I think and this is something that I didn't explore, which I should have, is setting up your own lineup shows and calling it something like Best of XYZ. Because this will probably work in most white countries except America, because I think there's a trust deficit in America right now. But the polite white countries like Canada, UK, Australia, I think these guys really believe you when you say this is best of. Like they are slightly. So
you're thinking of like Best of India or something like that?
I think that's where you make your money, because best of shows sell out. Like in Melbourne, all best of lineup shows, no matter whether they were known, unknown, no one on the poster, audiences came, trusted the organizers that this is indeed best of. Like I've fallen prey to this the first year I went to Melbourne, because I went to a best of Edinburgh fringe lineup, and they were all shitty UK comics, not very and I felt conned, but it was a sold out show, and I realized that's where the money is.
When is Melbourne's festival?
Melbourne is March 21st to April 21st.
Oh, so it just happened.
It just happened,
Yeah. And how was your experience overall?
Great, man. Like, I mean, it's like asking a man who hasn't had water in 10 years, how did you like that sip? So it was really, honestly, like good for me. But I come back here and I get humbled immediately by my audiences. Usually 4 of them show up to my shows to mock me, I feel. Some of them come repeat, and I'm doing jokes just for them. So
did you go by yourself when you went to Melbourne, or like did you do like a duo thing?
I did a split bill. I did a duo, but that was we might not do it again, because now both the person I was doing it with, Akib Merchant, very funny guy also. He's an Aussie like visa holder right now. He's working, so it's like but I won't do it again because I think now it's like time to start doing like a 60. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to divide either responsibility or reward. I would like to take complete ownership of success or failure. But in addition to that, 100% I want to organize lineup shows, best of India, best of Brown, best of whatever.
Next time you go, you would do 2 shows. Like one is
yeah. One is my own solo, and probably like 3 or 4 best offs a week. And you can make money there, bro. Like, dude,
I'll also come with you then. And like
yeah,
best of
100%.
Delhi and Mumbai.
We can do a best of Hindi also, dude. Even that will work over there. So it's just there's an audience that just wants to go for the best.
Indians are everywhere. So like even a lot of Indian comics, they go outside and they do their stand up in Hindi only, but they have a crowd there for it as well. Like in UK, US, there are lots of people who speak Hindi. Even Raza also speaks. Yeah, I just realized. I'm just talking in front of him. Okay, so I was thinking.
So anyways, before we conclude, Raza, let's do something in the coming years, man. Let's figure something out.
I'm absolutely down. Absolutely down. Let's keep talking. I just connected with both of you. I'm looking for you. Do you have Instagram, Nalin?
Yeah, of course. Why?
I'm trying to find you guys.
NALIN.
I'm trying to find you so I can report you and take your house.
Oh, you can take it as a. He will
happily sell you. He will happily sell you.
Thank you.
If you are a foreigner, you can take it. We will give it to you. It's just a problem with the Indians. Like.
Gotcha. Cool, guys. Well, it's great meeting all of you. Thank you so much for putting this up, Kaala.
Send the handles to all of you and also like mention it in the comments here. So yeah, other people can also follow you.
How many people watch this stream usually?
7 to 8.
Hell yeah.
Four of them are my audience.
Yeah, but like later on we get views after the stream is done because actually it's the night time in India as well. So most of the people are preparing for their job next day, and we can't do it on weekends because all of us have shows. So later on we will get views. I'll now like think of a nice punchline for this, like Raza and talking about jails on Indian jails, something like that. Maybe then we'll get more clicks. Yeah.
Okay, deal.
Yeah,
Raza, this will increase the viewership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about jail.
Okay, guys.
Cool.
Okay, I'm ending the broadcast.